it is best to have an exit plan. What is an exit plan? Meaning a plan for what you're going to do after that time is up. What's going on? It's Colin Brown here from Business Credit Unlimited, and I'm back. So let's talk about this together, you guys. What happens after the 0% interest ends on your 0% business credit cards? Something that definitely needs to be talked about open. So, what is a 0% intro period? Essentially, there are select banks that offer select cards where business credit cards, that is, in this case, they do it on the personal side too, but in this case, for business cards, where you can apply and be approved for 0% interest business credit cards from the banks. Now, in this case, the 0% period is never going to be for the time and the duration of you having the business credit card open. So it's not like for 10 years, and not even normally for 2 full years. Normally up to 18 months. Some banks actually do offer like a 24 months, but normally the highest you'll see is 18 months, where the medium normally is 12 months. Most banks are going to be 12 months. There's some outliers that's all the way up to 24, but normally higher is, the higher of that median range is going to be 18 months. And on lower end, you may see 6 months with like a key bank. And then Bank of America is 9 months, but it's normally 12 months. So in this time period, what that means is that if you charge, like you get approved for 50K, right? You get approved for 50K and you charge the whole 50K, you max it out. For that time period, say it's 12 months, a full year, you will not have any interest added back to the payments that you have to make on the business credit card. So it's a dope deal. It's amazing. It's mainly what we use for our clients, especially for our clients that are in the start and grow phase of their business, meaning that they generate, say, less than 30K or so a month in revenue for their companies. A lot of times it's just best, even if you're doing a lot more than that, you still can take advantage of 0%. So it doesn't really matter what you generate, whether you're starting or you're doing $1 million plus in revenue, you still can take advantage of 0%. But either way, especially for the clients that's in the starting phase, it's even better. Now, let's talk about it. What happens after this period, though? I don't see this talked about a lot, and we definitely need to address this head on. So, what happens after that 0% intro period? It's essentially what's going to happen is it's going to switch back that the interest rate is going to switch back to whatever you were initially got approved for. So, say your interest rate was 18%. That's on the lower end too for a business credit card. Really, like the lowest I've seen is like a 13%. It can go a little bit lower than that, like maybe a credit union offer or something like that. But for the most part, your standard rate is going to be anywhere from 13 all the way up to 29% interest. So you do the math on that, that adds up very, very quickly. And you don't really want to get caught with that. But let's talk about it. What happens? That's what happens. You essentially start getting charged the interest that you would have gotten charged without that intro 0% period. Now, what do you do about this? Well, obviously, number one, you just pay off the card before the 12 months or 6 months or 18 months before it's out. And then now you don't have anything to worry about, right? Like you're good to go. But we know that's not always the case, right? So there are two really good options that you can do when the 0% intro period has ended. Now, I want to make a disclaimer here. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not your financial advisor. Although I was a former accountant, I'm not your accountant. I'm not anything like that, okay? I'm just giving you my perspective on things. So this is just for educational purposes only. But I want to bring a perspective I haven't seen talked about yet. Now, when it comes to paying interest, before we go into the two options, I'll tell you that. But before we even talk about that, when it comes to paying interest, so yes, because you're going to have interest on your business credit card after you have that initial 0% interest free rate, it is best to have an exit plan. What is an exit plan? Meaning a plan for what you're going to do after that time is up. Either one of the strategies that we'll talk about here after I make this disclaimer, or whatever the case is, you want to have an exit strategy. You want to have a way to either generate that money that you're going to borrow from the card and be able to pay it back, or you want to at least um, have one of the other strategies, whatever the case is. But this is something I have to say about this. Again, this is going to be horrible, quote unquote, financial advice per se, but I'm just being real. Let's be very real here. Okay. Now, let's say you get a 0% business credit card, right? And what happens is that you say it's only 25K. You use 25K, you paid off like 10K, still got 15K left over. So you're going to start getting charged interest after the 0% intro period. But you use that 25K to grow your business. You invest it into some type of mentorship. You invested into marketing. You invested into a property for your real estate investing company. You bought a truck for your trucking company. Whatever it is that you needed to do to take your business to the next level, you did so. And you have to start paying interest. I want to just bring this. Would you rather pay $20,000 in interest and get the business of your dreams, meaning a business that if you're not full time, you're at a 9 to 5, you don't want to be there for whatever reason, and you want to be full time in your business, that allows you to do so. Or it allows you to create some extra revenue, some extra income, right? It allows you to build a bigger savings or allows you to invest more, whatever the case is, right? You're able to take that $20,000. Well, just say you had to pay $20,000, but it netted you $1 million business. Would you rather do that, or would you rather pay $0 in interest, but your business still is not at the next level because you really don't have the resources or the means to do so? Tell me, like, literally let me know in the comments, which one would you rather have? Because if it's me, I'd rather pay the interest and call that, like, charge it to the game essentially, and have the business that I want. I went all the way to $1 million. It doesn't have to be a $1 million business. Say if it's like it eventually will be, but it takes you to at least like six figures. You never generated, six figures in a company before, and you're able to take that 20,000 and do so. I think that's a good exchange. Okay. However, I am not telling you to pay interest. Matter of fact, I promise you, if you have an opportunity to never pay interest, not a single cent on the personal or business side, do it. Don't ever pay interest unless you really have to, or as part of a strategy where you're getting the benefit of that. You're making more money because of the interest that you're paying. So that's the best way to look at it. So I'm not telling you to pay interest. This is not financial advice. Say, yeah, go out there and just, run up your business credit cards and it doesn't matter because you'll have a business eventually. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is just a different way of looking at it. If you had to pick two, or pick one out of the two, pay interest and grow your business, or not pay any interest, but you don't make any moves because you don't have the funding to do so. I mean, I just know which one I'm going to pick, but I'm just a little bit different the way my mindset kind of works with things like that because I'm just a true entrepreneur at heart. But either way, just something to consider. So, yes, you need an exit plan, but what I'm getting at is like I don't think you need to have this absolute perfect, just laid out, mapped out plan every single time. Right? You need an idea. You always need an idea no matter what it is. I'm not telling you again to pay interest just lackadaisically. Always have a plan, but just know like if your plan doesn't work out perfectly within that year, within the 6, 9 months, 18 months, or whatever, hey, I mean, it's not the end of the world if you have to pay interest. That's all I'm saying. Especially if you can eventually get out of it, because you can, especially if you do the two strategies we about to talk about. Number one thing that you can do is, I'm finally getting to them, right? Number one thing that you can do is do a balance transfer to another 0% business credit card, at least that offers a 0% interest period on balance transfers. So you have to pay very close attention to this because Most business credit cards only give you 0% interest on purchases. So if you make a purchase with your card, it will be 0% interest for the purchase, but it will not be 0% if you do a balance transfer on to that new card. Okay, so you definitely have to know the difference there, but it's very possible. So let's take that same scenario. You got approved for 25K, you max it out, but you pay down 10K, you got 15K left over. It's very possible to get another 0% business credit card, at least 0% on the balance transfer, and you get approved for another 25K. You take that 15 from this card onto the new card, and then boom, now you have continued your 0% APR rate for another 6, 9, 12, even up to 18 months. Okay. I actually have a video. I'll put it in the description below where I talk about how to get 36 months of 0% interest. Okay. And I go into that strategy a little bit more in detail on that video. Now, the second strategy is to get cash for your business and pretty much consolidate it just like you would with any type of debt consolidation loan. So the way to think about it is if you could borrow, like I got the US Bank business loan for 9% essentially at 50K. So say if you have that same 15K and you're about to get hit with interest at 25%, you take the 9%, that's a lot better than 25%. You get approved for a business loan. Now you can pay off that balance with your business credit card, and then boom, you've at least saved money on your interest. Yeah, you're still paying interest, but at least you consolidate it, right? So that's one thing that you can do is get approved for a business loan. Now, I do have a video on that. I'll put that in the description below too as well, where I talk about how to get approved for a business loan for your business. But this is not going to be for everybody. You have to be generating revenue in your company. So it's not going to be just for anybody that's just getting started. More than likely, if you get approved for a business loan, actual cash for your business, and your business is brand new, more than likely the options available to you are going to be options with high interest. So it won't really do you any good by getting approved for a business loan at 50%. Yeah, they're out there actually. So that sounds crazy, but I've literally seen it before. But let's just say it's 30%. It matches, or is even higher than your credit card. It's not going to it's not going to do you any good really at all. Matter of fact, it may be worse because a minimum payment on a business credit card is normally going to be less. And even with the interest, it's going to be less than it would be for a business loan, the installment on there, either weekly or monthly or whatever the case. So that's the two strategies there. You're either going to, one, make the payment in cash and pay it off before time. Two, you could do a balance transfer over to a 0% business credit card. And three, you can use cash to pay it off by obtaining a business loan or some other form of funding to counteract it, just looking at the interest rate. So this is something that we help our clients with a lot because we know how business is, right? Sometimes you make that return on investment, sometimes 2 times faster than you think, sometimes right after it, and sometimes it takes more time. So you do need to keep these strategies in your pocket for what happens after that 0% interest rate. So that's pretty much it for this video. You guys let me know if you have any questions. Just put it down below. Make sure that you comment, like, and subscribe for more fun and videos because you already know they're going to continue to come your way. Let's get it. Peace.